Hirons is not legal. I don't foresee it ever being legal.
Right. There's no desire for them to make it that way, unless they want to start selling it.
Well, even then, I don't picture them doing it.
Yeah.
I'll say I was very, 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 very active in the computer tech world for over 10 years. I never once needed it.
Right.
Ever. There's plenty of other stuff out there that is legal that you can use.
I agree.
Number 8, if you don't like it, you can change it. Granted, if you don't like a skyscraper and you have the ability to change it, it doesn't mean you can physically change it. You do have to have a certain level of comprehension if you want to change parts of Linux. But the possibility is there. That's the important thing. You know, you could change it. Not you can change it. You could if you knew what to change.
Right.
Number 9, not all hardware is created equal. Very, very, very true. Linux or any given distro will not run on every piece of hardware that's ever been made. Some hardware vendors go out of their way to put very weird video cards in their system or sound cards in their system because they're saving money. And not every driver for everything ever existed is on every Linux CD. I think the odds are good, though. Right now, I think we're in a very nice place. We are easy 80% of the time. Everything's going to work just fine. Zero issues.
Tell you, I have a Dell 1545 I'm running Ubuntu on right now, which is showing these screenshots as Ubuntu. And it runs like a dream. It runs like a dream. And it's all just booted perfectly on the first install. And all the hardware's installed fine. So.
Yeah, that's one of the things. And another just quickie, just like how you install the operating system and you don't have to do any more work to get video working or these other things working. It's the same way with software. A lot of the times you already have Office suites and other tools all right there. So it's like, you know, it's like a pop-up book with a lot of than Linux is. And a lot of people like me become so comfortable in just opening a book and seeing this thing pop up and this beautiful buildings and birds, you know, just pop up out of this book because Linux just works, that when someone else comes across and says, I tried to put it on my computer and this doesn't work, we can't even comprehend it. What do you mean? You opened the page and it didn't pop up? Right. you must be doing something wrong. But it is definitely possible.
Yes.
Number 10, Google is your friend. If you don't know that, go back and listen to Podnutz Daily number 1. and then catch back up.
Yes.
Because everything possible is on the internet somewhere.
It's true.
Just a question of finding it.
Totally true.
Yeah. Okay, these links today, usually I have them in a better order, have them in some sort of order that makes sense, I'll say. I didn't have time for it today. It didn't really work right today.
It's fine. It's flowing fine.
Okay, this article is not truly Linux related. I now have a kind of belief thing. Android is not Linux. Granted, I can SSH into an Android device and I can type commands that are Linux commands and they work. Everything, every issue and every feature and every time you deal with something on Android, you're not dealing with Linux. You're dealing with Java stack called Android. So it really isn't. This is an Android thing, but I'm bringing it up in the Linux show and I'll explain why.
Because it's against Microsoft.
Kind of.
Go ahead.
This is at infoworld.com and it's Barnes and Noble takes on Microsoft Android patent.
Good for them. Call the bluff.
Yeah.
Call them the bluff.
I'm going to say this. Everybody in my family and extended family who's getting a gift that's originating in this house, they're getting a book from Barnes and Noble because I want to support this company. Okay. And for half my family, that's easy, man. They all, you know, just sit in chairs for hours and read books. So they're gonna be happy with this. Okay, if you go towards the bottom of the link, there's groups of 7 numbers, it looks like, and these are patent numbers. These are the patents that Barnes & Noble is showing the world that they're being threatened with. Now, I'll say, I don't know how they did this. My guess is they're going to get sued for releasing this information out there.
This is not patents aren't public information?
Patents are, but which ones Microsoft is bringing to the table to threaten people with no one's ever said before which ones they are.
I know, this is new news to me. This is pretty cool.
Right. Now, I'm not going to go through each and every one, but I will say this is in legalese, and it goes like this. Here's the first patent. Remote retrieval and display management of electronic documents with a image, I believe it is called. And it is a browser remotely retrieves electronic documents from a remote computer network for viewing by a user, and it downloads it in the background.
Okay.
That's a patent. And that's one of the things they're threatening Android with.
Oh my God.
The sheer thing, and everybody on God's green earth, even before there was Internet Explorer, did this. Back in the days of Netscape, you would download a web page, and the page would load, and then you would have boxes that would slowly come in from top to bottom, and they were the images. So it displayed the image, the page, and then it did background downloading of the images. This to me is not this is not credible enough to be a software patent in my idea,
Right.
in my mind. And the rest of them, a lot of them are like this.
That's so lame. Do you think they just said to their lawyers, we need some extra income. What can you dig up? I mean, what is this all about?
Well, and here's the thing. Supposedly, they've been threatening Linux with thousands of patents. Everybody who I say I listen to, some of them are biased, some of them are not biased towards Linux. They all kind of agree these are the better ones. These are the better ones. So the other ones are even worse. And they're even lamer and vaguer, and they don't really make a lot of sense. I'm really happy that they're showing these. If you want to look at them, actually, what a shocker. If you go to google.com/patents, they have all the patents there.
It's awesome.
So you
I didn't
can
even
see
know
what
Google Patents existed. It's pretty
Neither
cool.
did I. But now here's why I'm saying it's on a Linux show. Because they try this exact same line of crap against Linux. And there are companies out there that, you know, they either feel threatened to the point where they just subside, or they figure, well, here's how much money we can make. If they sue, we're going to probably end up paying this amount of money. And if we pay their patent fees, we're going to pay that much money. Well, that's not really that much money compared to how much we're going to lose if we, you know, or how much we're going to spend if we sue.
Right.
Let's just pay them and shut them up. And that's, to be honest, how I see Microsoft planning for the future. Not by innovating, not by making cool technology, unless you want to call the Microsoft Surface cool technology. This is how I see them being around in the future.
Just patents with patents.
Yeah, just blackmailing companies into paying them money.
Yeah. I hope you're wrong, but we'll see what they do.
I know. Only one way we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is, I had to mention this, and I purposely waited for this one. Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. If you downloaded a Linux distribution from about 3 or 4 months ago and installed it on a laptop, and you timed how fast your battery drained, you got a little upset because it seemed to drain a little abnormally quick, I'll say. Instead of, 2.5 hours on a laptop, you were getting like an hour.
Okay.
In the Linux kernel, there was a piece of code that basically, I'll say, slipped by. where they didn't realize the power consumption was not being properly regulated on portable devices. This was fixed. This was actually fixed like 2 or 3 weeks ago. By now, it's starting to roll into all of the distribution. So even if you had Ubuntu 10.10 installed, you're going to get a kernel update, or you already got a kernel update to fix this.
How long has this been going on?
Well, it was kernel 2.6.38, and I want to say it was like 6 months ago.
Gotcha.
And Linus, I do remember, said right around the same time when this was found out, he said the Linux kernel is getting too bloaty. Too bloaty.
I remember this. I remember this.
Yeah. And right now it's about 100 megs. 70 megs, I think, 100 megs. So it took a little bit of time to sort through all that code to find what they were looking for. They found it. It stopped. I will say security issues are handled much quicker. You know, your devices were still working, so they just let it go kind of thing. But, you know, so if you had a portable device and you're upset at how quick the battery was being drained, it wasn't just you.
Well,
it was the kernel.
Now we know. And that's
right.
Happy it's being fixed.
Well, and think on the bright side, guys, you don't have to pay for an upgrade to fix this problem. Some other operating systems, you know, they expect you to pay for this kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay, this one, Steve, honestly, I read it and I almost laughed. Okay. I'm going to like quiz you a little bit, okay? If you have a Windows computer and you know it hasn't had any maintenance done to it for a long period of time, and you suspect it's running a little bit slow, or, you know, what are some of the first things you would do, dare I ask?
On what operating system am I wrong?
Any Windows, doesn't matter.
On Windows, and it was running slow?
Well, it hadn't had any maintenance for like years. Like it was your mom or dad's, and you know nobody ever looked at it. Nobody ever did anything to it. And it's been 4 years.
Okay. I wouldn't defrag it. That's not the answer. I hope that's not what you're looking for.
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. I would probably, I'd run a spyware scan, and I would look into msconfig and see what's starting up at boot, probably.
Okay, well, you got one of the things I was looking for. Okay, there's 3 things in this article at businessinsider.com, and it's labeled performance hacks and tweaks for Linux. Now, if you just read step 1 and the gist of step 1, not the whole contents, just the title of it, and you just get the gist of the title, number 2, the gist of the title, number 3, the gist of the title, this could be any operating system we are talking about. Step 1, clean temporarily files regularly. You know, we do that on Windows. We have umpteen tools to do that. We have CC Cleaner, Stephen Gould's Cleanup, Pure Raw, you know, countless other ones.
Right.
And all they do is clean the temp files. Well, same thing on Linux. It's good to clean the temp files. The application I really like a lot for this is called BleachBit. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Long time ago. But it does a really nice job of just flushing out useless garbage. Step number 2, disable unused daemons and remove useless software. Like
I just cleared up today the word daemons in the computer language. I did not know what it meant till this very day. Right before the show, I looked it up, and I'm happy I know what they are now. They are programs that run in the background that could be either scheduled or triggered by some task. They're not things you do manually. Is that right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I just had to show off that because I'm proud of my knowledge.
A daemon typically runs from the second you boot your computer up.
Okay.
There are ones that happen trigger-based, but there's really not a lot. The main way I say is you didn't at any point in time tell it to launch.
Right.
You never explicitly told it to launch. It's like installing almost any piece of software on Windows and then rebooting